So a lot of times people think putting is getting on a putting mirror and trying to learn your stroke. What PuttView does is it makes this internal skill very external, and we're seeing an incredible transformation in our players. The first thing that an athlete says is, how did I ever figure out how to putt without this? And I think as a coach, it's the same. Like, we don't realize how good a piece of technology is until it is a true asset to our coaching. David created a culture and has created a brand that is about coaches always learning and always trying to get better. It's not teaching one type of golf swing or one method. It's trying to find the best ways to allow our athletes to make their goals and dreams a reality. The most important thing for us is to find ways to give our athletes an advantage, whether that's using technology or that's having the best coaches in the world or that's having the best facilities. But everything that we try and do is to give our athletes a competitive advantage.
Obviously, Golfzon Leadbetter, it's kind of like an academy that allows us to work in conjunction with the golf simulator company, but also we have behind the name of David Leadbetter, the credentials of a high performance in competition and teaching. So I think it's that combination as a company, I think, allows us just to continue growing the game.
Now here in 2024, it's a period in golf instruction where we understand that it's not about guessing anymore. It's about being able to quantify a change. It's about being able to measure instead of just make a calculated hypothesis on what that athlete needs to do. So we're using technology to collect the data, and then most importantly, we're using the technology to quantify if our coaches and our athletes are actually making changes. Yeah, well, I think PuttView is just an incredible piece of technology because it not only allows an athlete to learn a skill, like learning how to read the green, learning how to have pace, learning how to set up correctly. It can be used in so many different ways, but the way that I see us using PuttView is to allow the athlete to understand that putting isn't just about their stroke or isn't just about their green reading. It's about how they have a marriage between those two skills.
But obviously, I have to adapt myself to a new technology that PuttView, any launch monitor, Golfzon, anything that we can apply for instruction and to benefit the students always will be, for me, essential.
The athletes that are using PuttView are starting to see tremendous growth, not only in their stroke, but in their speed and that ability to create that optimal capture rate. And then we're seeing that out on the putting green, we're seeing that in the studio, and then ultimately we're seeing them hold the trophies when they win tournaments. The process from having this dream of having a PuttView studio to having it to now having the goggles and updating it as we go has been seamless. It reduces that gap between I can do it in the studio, but I can't do it in a tournament, to all of a sudden we're seeing our athletes being able to visualize those contours and see those lines when they're competing on the biggest stages.
And I'd like to make sure that allows me just to keep track about my students. So it's something that we're teaching the students, making sure that they could benefit themselves just to keep track about their progress. So that's something that PuttView allows just to make sure that we use the same location and then the studio, that they're not changing from one to another.
The technology isn't cumbersome, it doesn't get in my way, it doesn't force me to coach a different way. It just allows me to get my athlete the information in a more concise and specific way.
I mean, David always input. He was kind of like the first to say that we need that. So we need to be a little more ahead of others, because David always trying just to say, don't get comfortable, like making sure that you progress as a coach.
At Golfzon Leadbetter, it's about always trying to learn, always trying to evolve. And obviously PuttView is an incredible partner to allow us to continue to learn how to coach our athletes to unlock that potential that they maybe are unaware of that they have as a putter.